Why do you feel like you're chasing what you want, but still feel empty? It could be that the problem isn't what you desire, but the type of desire that dwells within you. And more importantly, perhaps you don't even know it's corroding you because it acts in silence. This is the kind of conflict that Freud spent his life trying to explain. And curiously, it's the same kind of conflict that the book of Proverbs already denounced thousands of years before. The illusion of freedom, Freud's unconscious desires. Freud stated, most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Often paraphrased as, most people don't want freedom, they just want security. On the surface, you say you want to grow, improve, achieve something greater, but in the unconscious, perhaps you're just trying to avoid pain, seek approval, or satisfy an emotional addiction. Freud said that human desire is fueled by impulses that consciousness doesn't recognize. In other words, you might think you've chosen something, but your fear chose for you. And this explains why we often achieve things and still feel empty. It's as if the prize has no taste because the pursuit came from the wrong place. Now, see what Proverbs 27:20 says. Shell and Abaddon are never satisfied, and so human eyes are never satisfied. This is exactly what Freud also observed. Desire is never truly completed. It merely changes form. When you think you're satiated, something new emerges, and you return to the beginning of the cycle. The biblical sage knew, desire isn't the problem. The problem is thirst without discernment. Desiring without understanding what drives you is like walking in the dark looking for a flashlight that never works. The blind drive and the deceptive path. Freud spoke of the drive, or Trieb, an internal, blind force that seeks pleasure and escape from pain. But the problem is that this pursuit is infinite. You escape pain today only to fall into another tomorrow. And the Bible says this too. Proverbs 14:12 declares, there is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death. How many times have you followed a desire that seemed right, but led you into an emotional hole? The career that seemed promising, the relationship that seemed like love, the purchase that seemed deserved, the pleasure that seemed like freedom. All of these are shortcuts of unconscious desire. Freud observed that human beings project their deficiencies onto others. What we call love is often disguised emotional dependency. And Proverbs 25:28 accurately points out, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. In other words, when your desire controls you, you are vulnerable, surrendered, unprotected. You need to understand that not every desire is worthy, not every will is healthy, not every pursuit is conscious. The big question? Why do you want what you want? This is the question Freud would ask, and also the one Solomon would leave in the air. You want success? Why? You seek wealth? Why? You want approval? From whom? Freud would say, it's your ego trying to protect itself from childhood pain. Proverbs would say, it's the deceitful heart trying to find a shortcut. Both would agree on something essential. As long as you don't understand the origin of your desire, you will be its hostage. Unconscious desire is hurried, impulsive, full of anxiety. Mature desire is patient, silent, and aligned with truth. Unconscious desire leads you to act to be seen. True desire leads you to act to serve, transform, grow. Unconscious desire comes from comparison. Mature desire is born from clarity. Faith, purpose, and self-knowledge. Freud might not have spoken of faith, but Proverbs certainly does. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. This is the point. When desire is guided by trust in something greater, it doesn't destroy you. It strengthens you. Perhaps what you're calling a dream is in reality a cry for help. Perhaps your desire is masking a wound. Perhaps the solution isn't to run, but to stop. You're not guilty for having confused desires, but you are responsible for illuminating them. And as Freud and Proverbs show, self-knowledge is a spiritual duty, because desire can be the bridge to your healing or the prison where your soul hides. If this touched something within you, leave it here in the comments. What desire has been silently dominating you? And if you want to continue this journey of reflection between psychology, the Bible, and philosophy, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. With each video, more clarity and freedom. See you in the next episode.